Welcome back to Class on Grass podcast. We have a special
Yeah, kind of a bonus episode
episode here.
We got Caden Clark from the New York Red Bulls on. He is a 17-year-old who grew up in Minnesota, where the podcast is originated, and yeah, it's really great to have him on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on today. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no problem.
Of course.
You've played 4 games now in the MLS, right?
Yeah, 4 games.
Probably just a surreal experience so far.
Yeah, it's I'm still trying to figure out everything out in the field, so it's kind of just like every game you learn something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just having fun out there.
All right, well, our first question we have to ask you is, what was it like on the big day of signing, from first off to the USL team and then also signing that first team contract?
Yeah, so the MLS contract part, I mean, it happened. We put it on a Saturday, Friday at 4:50. The deadline to turn in the papers was at 5 p.m., so I signed it 10 minutes before the deadline. So I signed it, and then I knew I was traveling with the squad right after I signed, so I was really excited. And then, yeah, I mean, Saturday they just announced my signing. I was starting, so a lot was happening in such a little amount of time. So it was just kind of everything happened at once, but it was really cool and cool to see everybody's reactions. But yeah, really happened in a blur. It's just it was kind of a dream start for me. What happened? So getting a goal was really cool, but I think it was just a really special day for me.
And what were those nerves like, knowing you'd play, your first team MLS game and then going on and scoring the same game? What was that like?
Yeah, I think, the 2 days after the game, I had a lot of adrenaline, so I was living off of that. I wasn't getting much sleep, so I was just super excited. So I think that kind of took over in the game. So I was nervous, but at the same time, I was just super excited. So I think it kind of balanced each other out. And it just took 10 minutes to get comfortable. After those first 10 minutes, it was just, just playing out there.
Yeah. Did you know you were going to start when you signed that contract?
Yes, I did. I talked to the sporting director, and we're going to throw you in there. Go down there and score the winning goal, and kind of happened like that.
Yeah, did they actually say that?
Had to.
yeah, he did say that.
That's
but,
great.
Yeah, it was just a great overall day, and now the team's doing well. We're in the playoffs right now, but we need to get in a better spot so we can get not a first round bye, but 7, 8, 9, 10 spots. They play each other. So it would be nice to skip that.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is the process? I know you kind of went through it already a little bit, but what's that process for signing for the first team? Were you notified a few days in advance that it was going to happen, or did they call you up right away, or did you know all along that this was coming?
Yeah, so 10 days, I had to quarantine for 10 days before I could join the first team training. So they said, we're going to quarantine you. We're going to try to get your contract done so you can play against Inter Miami. It didn't happen that quickly. It took some time. It was a little complicated. So I had to wait for Atlanta, which is totally fine. Everything worked out. But I think that, it was a 10-day quarantine. I jumped into first team training. So I had some time to understand what was going to happen and just prepare myself mentally for the jump to the first team. So I think that 10-day quarantine was actually super helpful. Just put my mind at ease and just focus on it.
So then, going off of that, you said that you were supposed to play against Inter Miami, but you quarantined so that you could train with the first team. Did you get extra practice training with the first team before you had that game against Atlanta United then?
Yeah, so I think I had 3 training sessions before.
Okay.
So I think I had 3 training sessions, which would helped a lot. But I wish I could have got, a little more. But it's what's happening with COVID. So
it didn't seem to really affect your performance.
No, but it always helps understanding who your teammates are and just understanding what type of players they are.
And, And were those those pros, those veterans, were they really welcoming and made you feel comfortable?
Yeah, a lot of the veterans and a lot of the guys really helped me right before the game. To say they believe in me, they trust me. So it really helped me. This those small talks really can really help a young player.
Yeah. What was the jump?
It might sound a little cheesy, but like it's true.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
really
probably
does.
true because it gives you the confidence
Yeah.
to succeed when you actually go out on the field. Versus, you might think that people don't believe in you as much because you're young, but you have the confidence of your players. What was the jump like between the USL team? Because obviously you were flying there, you're doing so well with that USL team. What was the jump like from that to the MLS first team?
USL, it's sometimes a little frantic, I would say. And the MLS, it's like sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slower. So it's kind of just like realizing like when to slow down, when to speed up, because like sometimes you'll have acres of space, other times you'll have like three people chasing you down. So it's kind of just like figuring out those moments when the game is slowing down and when it's picking back up for me. That's what I'm still trying to figure out sometimes.
Yeah, what does the coach say to you after the games to give you advice like that? Do you go into a room with him and watch film and analyze it and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we'll clip some of the game that maybe I made a mistake, maybe I did something well, and we'll review it. But he just kind of tells me just like we trust you, we believe in you, just go with your confidence, and if some people get mad sometimes, just yes, take their advice, but also just focus on doing what's best for the team. So I
Yeah.
think it's he's giving me a good chance out there.
Is that like a daily thing, or maybe every other day during training you do that, or is that kind of once a week?
The video clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Normally after every game, we'll
Okay.
go through some. Yeah.
Are you like, can you just go up to the media guy and say, hey, I was wondering how many passes I completed this game or stuff like that? I know like a lot of pros, when I watch videos about them, they say, yeah, I can just go right up, see my conversion rates, see what I could have done better, stuff like that. Are you able to?
Yeah, they have all that data, so I think it's a pretty cool tool we can use. I haven't asked personally, but it's available. Sometimes they'll post stats online or something, or sometimes you can go check an app and they have it. But yeah, we can ask. I just haven't asked, but it's a pretty cool tool.
Yeah. What was the reaction from friends and family to you, and just in general with them talking to other people or on social media after you got signed and then scored that beautiful goal?
Atlanta was pretty crazy. Toronto was even crazier. I had like, kid you not, like probably like over 1,000 notifications on my phone just from
Wow.
Twitter, Instagram, messages. Just everything was kind of blowing up. The videos got a lot of views on MLS and on
Bleacher
other
Report.
yeah, just a bunch of them. So I think it's just a really cool to see the platform of the MLS,
Yeah.
because a lot can happen. Like 2 weeks before that, I was playing USL.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good league. It's just not as big of a platform. So I think just like it's just happened really fast, and yeah, I mean, it's just overwhelmed with text and messages from family, friends. Yeah, it's just really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it takes a long time to go through all those texts and
Yeah.
stuff. You probably are sitting there for like 3 or 4 hours after the game or the next day, just going through texts.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I haven't I haven't gotten back to some people. I'm still working on that. It's
Yeah.
kind of a process a little bit going down the line, but I'm trying to get back to everybody.
Well, it's hard. Everyone wants to talk to you and congratulate you. Um, the Toronto goal, I think we can all say, was a superior goal. It was with your left foot. It was in the
Yeah.
top corner. And although the other one was a volley, I think this one was just a little sweeter. What was going through your mind after you scored that?
I just, it's kind of like you don't believe you did it, and even watching the video, it's like, is that me doing that? And it's kind of just like it's just like it's like Caden off the field is like a different person. Like it doesn't feel like it was me out there. So it's just kind of like, cool to get it on video, of course, and be able to watch it back. Because sometimes when you score goals in like State Cup or something, or you don't have it on video, so it's kind of cool to see. They got it on. Of course, they got it on video, but it's kind of just cool to see that.
Do you have any cellies planned? Any celebrations? Because it's
Uh,
a lot of running around right now. But
I
you got any
know,
planned?
yeah. I'm just so excited after I score. I kind of just run to my teammates, but I
Yeah.
was planning on doing a knee slide after the Toronto goal because I had so much
Classic.
space. I had so much space in front of me. So yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever thought about when you're sliding like on your knees, if your knees get caught in the turf and then you like fall
That's
over?
why. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I was hesitant about it. I
yeah,
didn't want to ruin the goal by doing that.
yeah,
But I mean, me and my teammates, we'll go over some celebrations that hopefully we can use.
yeah. So now we're gonna more talk about your youth career and how that propelled you to where you are today. Obviously, you started at MTA here in Minnesota. You played DA. You played up with age groups. I believe you played when I was U17. You played with the 18-19s, or maybe it was when I was U16, something like that.
Yeah.
So how did MTA really affect your development versus if you were to be at a different club, per se, in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think it's just like, of course, having the development academy was super helpful. Get seen by national team and different people. I think you can never get enough of that. Getting just connections and people seeing you play. So I think having that platform that MTA had at the time was really useful for a lot of players. A lot of players are getting college scholarships. Getting pro looks. So I think it's a really cool club that gives you people and kids a lot of opportunity. So I think overall it's a great club, and they have a lot of good players that are playing college now and professional. And it's not by accident. They have a lot of good coaches there, and I think that Mark and Rob's all giving me and Ralph giving me the opportunity to play up, and like even though I was tiny compared to those kids, just letting me play up was that helps any player. So I think just like having that trust from the coaches and not sending me down in age. I think that helps a lot. Just getting and also traveling. Every weekend you're traveling, you're playing games all around your region. So I think it's just like an overall really cool experience to do at a young age that really sets kids up in the future.
Yeah, and then you moved on with your experience with Barcelona and their academy. Can you talk a little bit about how that kind of developed your skill and how that really helped you progress?
Yeah, so when I went to Barca Academy, I went as a winger. So I think kind of just switching over to a midfielder, just like learning everything about it, the spacing, what to read, what to know about the defense, passing, vision, turning, checking over your shoulder. I think it all comes from, being thrown into that system. And I think it's just an overall like amazing place to be. You have your dorm room, you have you're eating dinner and you're eating all your meals with your teammates, roommates, classmates. So it's a really cool experience. You get to go to school with them. It's like it's the best experience if you want to be, a professional soccer player. I think go there to develop your skills and develop how to be a good young man. So I think it's just that place will really develop you everywhere overall, not just soccer.
Yeah, and then you had the opportunity to go play in certain times with La Masia and the Barca Academy over in Spain, and you played alongside Xavi Simons in scrimmages and games. Am I right with that?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
There's video on that too.
Yeah. So what was that experience like of the whole Barca Academy over in Spain, and then also playing with these really, really good players that you might even be excelling over at this point in time?
Yeah, I mean, those kids are special over there, and I think that to be honest with you, American soccer is not much behind. You see a bunch of good youth players like being in the first team over in Europe, being in the first team MLS, and some of those kids are still, of course, the level's different over there, but you see a lot of those kids over there still in the youth teams. So I think it's kind of just like Americans are up on the rise, of course, but going to La Masia and training there, it's definitely an experience. You could go to a game. You're in the locker rooms of La Masia. You're behind the scenes of everything. So it's really like an unbelievable experience. It's an eye opener for sure to like see the other world of soccer. Because that's real. That's like everything they do is around soccer over there, not the other way around here. So I think that's the biggest difference. And I think having a big club, invests a lot of money into your youth and having it pay off, like Ansu Fati right now, and others that will come up in the system soon. I think they're seeing it pay off, and I think a lot of more clubs in America are going to invest more money into the youth, because the youth is the future of the MLS, and a bunch of youth players want to go to Europe.
Yeah, and so you're saying after you've experienced firsthand the kind of American type development of U.S. soccer players and then going overseas and seeing how Barcelona do it, you said you think America's not far behind. And so you really think...
okay, America is not far behind in other clubs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barcelona and La Masia is, that's like for sure different levels. But I think that, a lot of clubs here, like, give the youth a chance, are not far from behind of, some big European clubs. Producing talent for sure.
Yeah. And you obviously moved from Wyzetta to Arizona to New York. So you've moved around quite a bit, but now you're a professional soccer player and you kind of living the life that everyone dreams of. How is that like different in your everyday life compared to when you were living at home with your parents or over in Barca?
Yeah, it's a job, so you have to you don't have a choice if you want to skip training or not, or if you want to take a 1-day break, or you don't have a choice. You have to show up for training, you have to show up. Some days if you don't want to lift, you have to go lift. You don't have a choice. It's your job now. People pay money to watch you play, to come see you in person and play. So you have to hold yourself to a standard. And I think, show up to training, perform well, work hard. It's definitely, like once you sign that contract, like you're in. Like there's no going back now. No going back to your kid days, or having. And of course you can have fun with your friends, but you just got to focus on soccer. It's your job. You pick it. I picked it over than going to college and playing college soccer. So definitely want to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, it's a job, but it's a very fun job, to say the least.
Yeah. But all seriousness,
Yeah.
You don't have a choice,
Yeah.
That's the point.
You gotta love it a lot, because some people, they love playing soccer, but they like it because it's free and it frees them from their other duties. But when it becomes your job, you have to love it enough that you can get told what to do within it, and you still can succeed.
And there's a lot of stress in it. Performing, trying to make the squad, the media, interviews. There's a lot of stress in it. If you're not playing well, your team, you want to make playoffs. It does come. I'm experiencing it now. It does come with a lot of stress. But you're just trying to have fun with it at the end of the day, and I am. So I'm happy.
That's good.
Yeah. So at New York, I know we asked earlier if people are really welcoming, but like, who in particular have you noticed that you've really bonded with as friendships, and maybe coaches that you really click with, or stuff like that, where you just feel really comfortable when you're around those players? Or is it kind of the whole squad just really welcoming?
There's a couple of guys that I hang out with, outside of the facility. Drew Yearwood, a couple of them. Tim Parker's a really nice guy. Sean Davis really took me under before the game and gave me the confidence. They all did. Ryan Miro, the goalie, they all helped me out. So I think I didn't name them all, but there's a lot of people that helped me out.
Mm-hmm. And so when you were really young, did you have any player that you kind of idolized as your favorite player, or maybe it still is now today, from like anywhere in the world, like Messi, Ronaldo, someone like that?
Yeah, of course. I really do like Messi. Watching Barcelona play, watching him play, enjoy him while we can. But I think it's just a joy to watch, and that'll forever be my favorite player. But I think like comparing myself to like who I want to be down the line, kind of like a physicality standpoint and like same foot, same position, is probably Bruno Fernandes, because he can just like dribble, pass, shoot, just do everything. So I think that's kind of where I want to head towards in the near future. He
has a great long shot, Bruno Fernandes.
He does.
You gonna imitate that penalty style with the little jump?
To be honest, I do that.
No, you do? In training, when you guys take pens, you imitate that one?
I do.
Do you like it? I do the
before.
same thing, but do you like it?
Yeah, I do, honestly, because you can change where you're gonna place it at any moment, really.
Yeah. So just getting into, stuff you like to do or teams you like to support, outside of New York Red Bulls and obviously Barca because you have that connection to Barca, do you have any Premier League teams or Bundesliga teams maybe that you really support and you like to watch on Saturdays or Sundays when you have free time?
Yeah, like I'm not like a diehard really any team fan. I just kind of like watching all around. But like a team I do look forward to watching is probably Chelsea because they have a lot of young players and they're just like, they're just full of energy. So I think that's really fun team to watch. Um, and seeing Frank give a lot of those players chances, it's great to see. But yeah, it's Chelsea's definitely the one I would wake up for in the morning.
Yeah. Just to finish it out, I know you trained maybe twice or three times today. I don't really know exactly, but
Twice.
yeah. But what's your training schedule daily usually?
Yeah, so like on a typical day, like today.
Yeah, like today, just a training day.
Yeah, so today is a Monday, so it was a little harder session because I played about 39 minutes, I think that's what it said, in the game. So I didn't play a whole lot. I played a decent amount, but I didn't play enough for a regen session. So I was in with the guys who didn't get as many minutes. We had a harder session today in the team. So I wake up around 8 o'clock, around there, hop in the shower, eat some oatmeal before, then have to be at the facility by 9 o'clock. It's just 10 minutes away, so it's not too bad. And then, 9 and 10, just greet everybody, kind of hang out with everybody. Normally by 10:15, we have film. And then 10:45, 11 o'clock, we are out on the field. And then we get done on the field around 12:31, depending on the day. And then like today we had a lift. So normally day before a game, like tomorrow we won't have a lift, or right after if you played, you won't have a lift. Then I'm out of the facility at like 2 o'clock around there after I have lunch with some teammates there. And then, I came home, rested for 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, then back on the field with my dad and today for training. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a packed schedule, but all for the betterment of your skill and the team. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. It's been a pleasure to have you, and we hope you do well finishing out the MLS season, and hopefully, I'm expecting because you'll be playing that you guys will make playoffs, and hopefully you guys do well in the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Matt, for
Yeah,
having
no
me on
problem.
today.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon at home.
Yeah, sounds good. See ya.